I figured I'd do a quick tutorial on how I put these together. When cutting these out, press down on the blade like a guillotine. If you try to slice them, you're just going to bend up the pieces. Now there are a few aftermarket companies out there doing photo etch. This is specifically for the Hobby Design brand. I have worked with Crazy Modeler and another company I can't quite remember the name of right now, but they are generally the same, so this method should work for any brand. If you do manage to bend them, just use some smooth needle nose pliers. I smooth these out on a belt sander. I know not everyone has them, but you could use files too. But all that does is just let you bend everything back into place without marring up the surface. And I made myself a jig by taping a sewing needle to a tapered paintbrush. This is going to keep everything centered, and it's going to keep it all aligned so the veins line up. There are alignment pins throughout the entire brake assembly. All you got to do is put a dab of super glue on them, press them down, and it'll keep everything in line. For the rotor hats, I've seen them black, I've seen them steel, I've seen them rusted. Just any variation of metal, just whatever spray paint they had on hand at the time, I think. But I ended up just painting mine, just polished aluminum, TS17 I believe, and Tamiya spray. As you noticed, I did not paint the back of them, because they are heavy. So whenever I glue them on, I want it to be a good strong connection. And one of the very last things I do is gluing the calipers on, because I need them to be aligned for the proper orientation. That notch has to match up with the pin on the spindle. Do not get too carried away test fitting these, because they will scratch up your rotor faces as you see there. I figured out how to mount these. All I'm going to do is just line up the notch 180 degrees opposite of the calipers. I thought about gluing them in after I had the rotors installed on the car, but there is just not enough room in there, especially for my big hands, so I'm going to do it all here. And these are not toys to me, so I do not want them to roll. So I like to glue in these poly caps, and then I glue the wheels onto the poly caps. And I had lost one of the poly caps, so always keep spares. These are from an old Aoshima wheel kit that I had bought aftermarket. Luckily these are all interchangeable, so we're gonna roll with it. Or not roll, since I glued them in. It was at this point when I realized that the original ones did not have the caliper for the parking brake. Nice detail there, Hobby Design. Here I'm just doing some test fitting to make sure there's enough room where I can rotate those if I need to, so I can align that notch where I need it to be. And there is not, so make sure you stab these in exactly where you want them to go. If you're an idiot like me, it may take a few tries. I did not realize it at the time, but the Aoshima cap is just a little bit longer than what it needs to be. There's a quick flash of green cap there. I'm using the gel type of super glue because it doesn't immediately set, so I can have a little bit of work time with it if I need to rotate it. And that is all of them complete. A lot of work and a lot of detail for something you will barely even see. I want to thank you again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.